Hi everyone, and welcome to my brand new podcast, All or Nothing with Anita Nicole. I'm so excited to share this journey with you as I introduce you to people who share some of their lifelong stories. I hope their stories inspire you and ultimately help you to elevate your life. This has been a lifelong passion of mine, so I really hope you enjoy this podcast. I look forward to the feedback, and if you have any questions or comments, please do share. Now it's time for us to elevate together.
Go into environments that want your light. Find that. Go where the sun shines.
Yeah.
And if you are somebody that has a bright light and you're stuck in a dark hole, shine your way out of that. That's what I'd say.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that actually touches into my next question. It's like, this is going so easy. When you're working on elevating your vibrational frequency and attracting your rightful tribe, what would you say to someone who feels like their current circle isn't vibrating at the level they are? And how can they go about finding more friends on their wavelength?
So when you are shifting, and I call it shifting because you are transcending what you once were and evolving into something new, something more transformed, more sophisticated at times as well. You can't carry everyone with you, and not everyone is on the same journey as you. So for me, I realized that in order to do what my life called me to do, which was to impact lives and change lives, I knew that I would lose. And I would have to lose things that I once enjoyed because it no longer serves me or fills me up. I would have had to lose friends because they don't resonate with this new approach that I've decided to take. And it's about acceptance, accepting that your story is unique and their story is unique as well. And it's about mutual respect for that, mutual respect for each other's journey. So when shifting and shedding, be confident in knowing that every empty space will be filled. Every empty space will be filled. I did go through a period of feeling like, what if I'm alone, and what if no one is around, and that sort of thing. But I just trusted that when one door closes, another opens. And in me living my ultimate and authentic truth, people who want to do the same would find me. I just believe that. I believe that I would have been a magnet for exactly who I am. So it's about trusting that process. Now, you asked the question about finding, how do you find people? And when I was building my following, I never had the intention. Well, firstly, I didn't have the intention of building my Instagram. I started to use Instagram as somewhat of a journal. So I started to just document what I was going through. And I started to vlog because I was going through my own self-love journey and finding who I am, because I lost a large part of myself when I left the legal profession. I did that for 4 years. That is what people knew me as. That is who Shelly-Ann Gajadhar was, a criminal prosecutor, a very good criminal prosecutor. So when I left that, what would they have known me for? And that was for me to fill. I needed to fill that blank. So I didn't set out to build a community of people that would follow me and be inspired by me. I just wanted to be me.
Yeah.
I wanted to live my truth. I just wanted to be honest with myself. And I wasn't really thinking about other people, quite honestly. And I could say that. I wasn't thinking about other people. I was thinking about coming home to Shelly.
Wow.
I just wanted to come home to myself. And as I was coming home to myself is when I started to see people just paying attention to what was happening with my life. And it started off with not looking for people or finding people. When you find yourself, people find you.
Wow.
You know? And it is that journey still for me.
Yeah.
You know, I have a very small group of friends back home. I call them my lovers because all of us are lawyers. I love them to death.
Aww.
And it has been such a privilege to still, you know, to go through these many changes and still have people that root you on and cheer you on and understand and give you that space to grow.
Yeah.
To grow and to say, guys, I don't like this pot I'm in anymore. I want a new pot. And it was okay. You know, they still shone light on me. They still watered me when I needed to be watered. So from now and even being in London, I don't go seeking and looking and finding friendships. People find me, just like you found me.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
And just like you shared your story with me, and I'm inspired by your story. So it really is about find yourself and you will find your tribe.
Yeah.
And that is how I have been able to connect with such beautiful souls. And it has continued to be an approach that is tried and tested.
That is an incredible testimony. And it's so true. When I was younger, not even younger, probably like a few years ago, I used to, if I fell out with a friend, we weren't resonating on the same level, I would just go home and be like to my mom, I've lost a friend. Like, what am I going to do? Because I was operating from a lack mindset. And I recently traveled to Bali, and the host, Shanoa Maxwell, she just taught me that if you see lack, that's all you're going to get. But if you see abundance, you'll get it. It doesn't matter if people sway or leave. As long as you think that you will always be full, the right people will gravitate towards you.
Yes. And I think as well, you know, like with friendships and, you know, it is okay to outgrow friendships, right? Just as plants, you know, we outgrow our pots.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with friendships. It's okay to outgrow people, but you have to do so in love.
Yeah.
I see too many times young people, young adults as well, outgrowing friendships but leaving on very bitter terms.
Yeah.
And it's because there is this unreasonable expectation of thinking that we should grow together at the same time, but no two roses blossom at the same time. So it's about understanding where people are at, understanding where you are at, and, you know, if you have to let go in love.
Yeah.
And I remembered I had to recently do that with a very close friend of mine, because I was just on a different path from where she was, and some of the things that once I enjoyed, I just no longer enjoyed. And I had to speak that truth. And it was a difficult conversation, but I felt so free. When I had that conversation, I felt so free that I could speak my truth and say, this doesn't resonate with me anymore.
Yeah.
And that is what I talk about, coming home to yourself, because it's almost like this journey of coming home to yourself. You're familiar with the sightings. So the closer you get to home, the more excited you get, the more courageous you get, the more brave you get, the more honest you get.
True.
So the conversations became so much easier. And the more I had these conversations about who I am, is just the more at liberation and freedom I felt. And it allowed me to just find the right people and connect with the right people.
That's incredible. And it's true, like when you are serving your best and highest self, you don't even feel guilty anymore for letting go of things that no longer serve you. You just move in confidence.
Yes.
That's really powerful.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you.
So we're really in a time where more women are becoming their own bosses, and it's amazing to see them reaping rewards from their hard work and business endeavors. Many young women also grow up and hope to get married and have children one day. What advice would you give to someone in their late 20s and 30s who feel as if they're struggling in the dating world and haven't quite met their person yet?
Yeah, we put these timelines on our ovaries, right? You put these timelines on ourselves. We put these timelines on just life.
We do.
And I think, you know, we have such a great opportunity to create the life we want.
Yeah.
We have the ability to do that now as well, because of how mobile the working world is becoming, because of how dynamic the offering is for what your profession can look like. We have the opportunity to do something different in this time. I think it's an exciting time for a woman right now.
Agreed.
Because we can really define what being a woman looks like to us and should feel like. We are owning our femininity, where women are owning our sexuality, we're owning our voices, and the environment is actually making it easier for us to do that as compared to 20 years ago, for instance. So I think we must now be brave enough to ride the tide of what society is showing us is possible. Because society is saying you can do it, but somehow we have been programmed to think we should be risk averse. We shouldn't take that chance.
Yeah.
So it's about letting go the socialization of us thinking that we need to do things at particular timelines and hit particular milestones, and to just embrace where life is taking us. What we must also understand is that because of the large pool of opportunity that women are now exposed to, it is only reasonable that our timelines, traditional timelines, are changing.
Yeah.
It's only reasonable. It's not rocket science, woman. So please use common sense with that. I mean, we want to do so many things and have a family at 25. Do you think that makes sense? No. Right? So you are the modern day woman. So we must own that. And we must then define our narratives and our timelines. So to the woman who is in her late 20s, early 30s, hasn't found the one yet, I would say to you that if you want to find the one, just as you wanted that job that you worked hard for to get, make finding the one a priority. If that is what your heart really wants, pursue it.
Wow.
Because it's possible, right? It is possible, but we must make it a priority. The woman who is in her late 20s and early 30s that may not have found the one, it might be because you have been putting something else as priority. And I could say that because I am a working woman and I am a career driven, and for a long time, finding the one was not my priority. And I'm sure, because I am a go-getter,
Yeah.
I am sure that when I make that my priority, it will manifest itself. Right? So define your timelines, embrace being a working woman, embrace the opportunities that society is affording us women, because we live in such a great time. And again, don't victimize yourself. Don't victimize yourself on traditional standards, because you must understand the changing nature of the world. And once you make it a priority and you set your boundaries, it is possible.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Don't worry at all. I think that anything we want as women, we can have.
I
And
agree.
such a blessing to see that we live in a society that is allowing us to do that.
Yeah.
And we are living in a society with women that are creating platforms to do that, which
Yep.
is what you are doing with your podcast. You know, so it's there, it's out there, and it's up for taking, and we just need to grab our narrative and run with it.
I completely
Yeah.
agree. For the person that's listening that might be like, Shelly's giving me this great advice on how to prioritize finding my partner.
Yes.
But what if they're thinking in the back of their head, how can I go about prioritizing this? What would you recommend for them for the route to finding their person?
Right. Well, firstly, find yourself, yeah? Find yourself, because you can't find yourself in somebody else. So first and foremost, find yourself and get really seated in what is my love language? What are the things that speak to my soul?
Very
You know,
important.
do I need somebody who earns X amount of money because I need financial stability? And hey, ladies, if that is what you need, don't be ashamed to say that. That's okay. Some women want a provider. Others want somebody that is just going to tend to their soul and their emotions. So as women, own what you want from your partner. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing is with regards to prioritizing is you can't meet somebody at your desk. At your work desk, right? And if you meet somebody at your work desk because you're using an app, and we all know how these apps can go, it's once in a blue moon, you get a really great story coming out of that.
Yeah.
But I say all of this to say, go out there and meet people, and also give people the time of day. Too many times I hear stories of this guy likes me and he's been approaching me, and you're always giving him the no, no, no. And who knows, that could actually be your soulmate.
It's true.
I talked earlier about a spirit of allowance. We must understand the synchronicities of things, that people just don't fall from the sky and in our laps. Everything is very interconnected. So make time and see the signs. I always say, like, when somebody comes into my life, man or woman, I always ask myself, what are you here to teach me? I say that to myself. Of course, I'm not asking them that, but I say that to myself. What are you here to teach me today? What am I supposed to learn from my interaction with you? And sometimes interactions with men or women, whatever you're into, it can teach you about love, and how to open up to receiving love. Because at this age of late 20s to early 30s, you are in a space of self-fulfillment. So you become so engrossed in self that you don't know how to receive somebody else.
Yeah.
And when you ask that question of what are you here to teach me, it's a spirit of allowance that you're opening up yourself to, and saying, I'm willing to receive you. So get out there, meet people, make it a priority to go out if it's every weekend, and to also start seeing your interactions with people in a much more kind of interconnected way.
Yeah.
There is something that people are here to instill upon us, but we must be open to receiving it.
I love that. If you look at everything as a lesson, nothing is a waste of time.
No.
If that person's not your type or anything like that, you can still learn something valuable.
Oh yeah,
That's incredible.
Yes, and every time I meet men, that is exact. I'm always like, so what is he here to teach me, Lord? Like, what is he here to tell me? Oh Lord. But I think in doing that, because I've always had a hard time with opening up myself romantically, and it's simply because there's this pressure of balancing career with relationships, and whether you can do that. And I'm slightly a perfectionist, so for me, I don't want to fail at it. I don't want to fail at this juggling of roles. Okay. And I don't want to see the scales tip from on one end of the spectrum. So I try to allow myself to balance both sides. And it has taught me the importance of just receiving people. Receiving people. Even if it's somebody that just stopped me in the street, hey, you're beautiful. Sometimes before I would have been like, oh, whatever, and walk off. But now it's like I would actually stay there for a while and receive the compliment.
It's true.
Receive it.
It's true.
Because it softens you, and it allows you to open up to the one in the end. Because you see, we say, oh, I want to find the one. But when the one shows up at your doorstep, are you ready to open your door to him?
It's true.
You might open your door to him, and it might have a little iron gate. You didn't even realize you have an iron gate before the door, So I think it really is about just slowly allowing and receiving people.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
So you're an entrepreneur, fashionista,
okay,
mentor, an overall woman who just gets the job done and manages to stay stunning whilst at it. So my last question for you is, with all the success that you've had and continue to have, what does it mean to you to give your all or nothing?
Okay, so I believe in giving my all. I believe in giving my all because I came with an overflowing of gifts that are to be shared. And in every situation, I give of my all because when we leave with nothing. We came here with everything, but we leave with nothing. So for me, I give of my best and I give of my all in every situation that I'm placed in.
Yeah.
And I always say, when given the opportunity, do your best.
Yeah.
That's all
Okay.
that is asked of from you. To just give your best, do your best, so that if it works out or if it doesn't work out, at least you can walk away saying, I did my best.
Yeah, show up for yourself.
Show up for yourself and stand in your grace and in your integrity, and let the world feel what you have to offer, which is everything.
Yeah.
And then you can leave empty-handed in the end. And it's going to be okay because so many other hands will be filled.
Yep. There is no lack.
There is no lack.
I love that.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much, Shelly.
Thank you so much, Anita.
for being a guest on my podcast.
You're
and thank
welcome.
you guys for listening to All or Nothing with Anita Nicole.